Hi guys, I wanted to introduce you to my latest album. All of the items that I can think of that I used to make this album are in the description box below, including some of the folks that helped me learn how to put together a junk journal album. So let's start with some uh, specifications of the album itself. The album is 8.5 by 5.5. It has a 2 3/4 inch spine. This is what the back looks like. And there are 3 signatures. And there are 134 pages. Now, when I created this, the reason that I put such a large spine in it and left plenty of room in between is because I wanted whoever is going to use this album, I wanted them to be able to add lots of photos, lots of ephemera, a lot of their own things in this album and still have plenty of room without ending up with, gator mouth. Now, because I wanted this album to be usable, I did want to have the spine jewelry to be detachable. So it is attached to the spine with a bulb pin, and these are all fibers out of my stash. And then how it attaches is with one of the Tim Holtz little ring fasteners. But the 2 kits that I used primarily because I loved the papers, they were just beautiful, and they are from on Etsy, SS Digital Studios. Name is Banya. She makes beautiful kits, and the original kit that I bought is no longer available, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Banya has replaced that kit with one called Country Life, and what she reworked some of the junk journal pages, and then she added ephemera. She added more tags, pockets, a couple of envelopes, some postage stamps. She added a lot of the kind of stuff that I'm always looking for to add to my to junk journals. I love that kind of stuff. So I have put links to both of the kits in the description box below. That was one of the kits that I used. The other kit of hers that I used is called Colorful Vintage Journal Pages. So this is a piece of graph paper for my stash. That's my favorite kind of paper, is graph paper. You'll notice that it is not coffee dyed. That's because this particular brand of paper that I have tons of, and I've got to use this up first before I buy any more. It's water soluble, so when I tried to coffee dye it, all my lines disappeared. So none of my graph paper is coffee dyed, and anytime I try to ink it or use anything that's water soluble on it, all my lines disappear. So I've stopped doing that. Ribbon from my stash. These letters, these are spring words and some spring phrases, and the butterflies in this journal are from Artymaze, and they're free. They're freebies from Artymaze that she gives away on her website and also in her Facebook group. So link to those will also be in the description box. And then this is some coffee dyed paper. I coffee dyed this myself. This is a tag from Artymaze that I decorated with ribbon and some cheesecloth from my stash, and I think this is also from the spring phrases. And this is a matching tag, also from Artymaze. These are photo mats from Genevieve Designs. She has a whole template set on her Etsy shop of these types in different colors, and they even have different background designs in them as well. So really great for giving you that vintage photo corner look without having to actually sit there and make photo mats with photo corners. I love that idea. And then another postcard from Artymaze. Another spring word, and a butterfly from Artymaze. Now this paper is from a composition notebook that I coffee dyed, and I just dunked the whole composition notebook into a big pan of the dye, of the coffee mixture, and dyed the whole book at the same time, which brought about some really interesting results. I didn't get coffee dye all the way through, that's for sure. Some cheesecloth and another one of the spring phrases, and some really neat items. This is from the paper kit from Artymaze and Genevieve Designs. All of the photo mats are from Genevieve Designs. A majority of the ephemera is from Artymaze. I will mention it if it's not from the paper kit or from Artymaze, so that you're aware of the differences there. And some lined paper that was part of the paper kit for journaling. This beautiful barn with sunflowers, it's a postcard. I just loved the way this looked. And these are paper bags that I got off of Amazon. And when I started using them, I noticed that, you know, basically when it's facing this way, it's kind of hard to tell if there's something inside. So what I did was I slid it down the middle and folded it over and added some brads so that it became obvious that there were more items inside. It's a little receipt. Little rhinestone out of my stash. I wanted to pick up the purple. Wasn't quite sure how to do that without covering up the paper, and I didn't really want to do that. Another spring phrase. And this is an envelope that I decorated. The envelope is from one of Genevieve Designs kits. She makes some beautiful album kits, templates. I have quite a few of hers. I did use vellum because I felt that some of this paper is just so beautiful that this was a tag from the paper kit that I just glued along the sides and turned it into a tuck. And what's great about these photo mats is that you can add them to the page, and they're perfectly sized so that you can add 2 or 1 and then do some journaling, or a really big, a really big photo, or just add your photos and tuck them right back in here, so that you can take them out. And then what you would be able to do is just journal in the back. Look at those beautiful sunflowers and a log cabin. I just love that. Another ticket. So many different ways to use these. This is a piece of lace from my stash, and I just put the spring word on top of it. Another piece of coffee dyed paper. This was a piece of paper from the paper kit that I just cut on a diagonal and glued so that it became a tuck spot. most of the butterflies that I'm using from Artymaze were freebies from Watercolor kits, and then I used flat back rhinestones from my stash to decorate them, and with I decorated this with some hole reinforcements that I foiled, and then with some baker's twine. This is a coin envelope that I paper clipped here. These are Tim Holtz mini paper clips, and instead of folding it over and closing it up, I put it over the top of the page and then put a little tag from the paper kit inside with some ribbon from my stash. Another paper bag filled with goodies. And this was one of the junk journal pages. They come two to a page. They're originally this size, and I shrunk it down, I think 50 or 75%. I was looking for different sizes, and when I didn't use them for for the booklet that I was making, I just used them as little cards that you can journal on for here. And this is the school spiral bound notebooks. I ripped out the pages and then coffee dyed them. This is a little bee from Artymaze. This is also from Artymaze. It comes on a sheet with some of these green butterflies and some of these in different sizes. Also a freebie. Decorated with a yellow ribbon from my stash. This was one of those pages from the composition notebook that I coffee dyed, and the coffee did not get to the inside of the page, so you can see sometimes you end up with some interesting patterns when that happens. And this is a coffee dyed book page that I used my envelope punch board with and created an envelope out of. This is a page from a vintage dictionary. This was not coffee dyed. This is the color of the pages. It came right out of the book. Whereas this is coffee dyed. It's almost the same color. That was an accident. I did not do that on purpose. So this was a small envelope. It was out of one of Genevieve's templates. I don't remember which one, but I'll list it in the description box below. And I glued it on this one side and the bottom so that it turns it into a tuck spot. This is a piece of paper from QVC. It was from a notepad that I got when I worked there for a little while. And so I decided to coffee dye it and include that. And then this is a little specimen card from Artymaze. Another piece of vellum. Another butterfly that's decorated with a flat back, just to give it a little bit of sparkle. This is the definition of journal and jot from an old vintage dictionary, and then decorated with one of Artymaze's beautiful butterflies. This is a printable of an old receipt. I printed it onto newsprint, so it's thin, but it has that grayish color to it that I was going for. And I think I got the downloadable receipt, I think, from the Graphics Fairy. Coordinating ribbons for my stash. Another beautiful postcard. This was a piece of the paper from the kit, and I just cut around this vine, or this, I guess it's a vine, and added one of Artymaze's butterflies and turned it into a little corner tuck spot. This was one of Artymaze's freebies. Looks like a grocery list, or a place where you can journal or jot down notes. And I took another one of her freebies and I cut it out and then turned it into a little tuck spot. I created these tags with my tag punch and added some ribbons from my stash. These papers are just beautiful. I just love the way they look. They're so bright and happy. This is a dictionary definition of journey with a ribbon from my stash. And this was a tag created with my tag punch, and I created a little tuck spot out of it and decorated it. And it is open all the way up. So, and over on this side we have an envelope from, I think this is also a freebie from Artymaze, and I added one of her butterflies, and inside I put a couple of photo mats and a postcard. I attached it to the side using one of Tim Holt's mini paper clips. So another tag. I'm sorry, this is a ticket with a card. Another foiled hole reinforcer. Another butterfly. See, this is another one of those pages from that composition notebook, and there's hardly any, but I like the fact that it just kind of emphasizes the edges of the page. It's cool that you don't get the same result more than once. It's just so random. Now this was another one of those pieces of paper from the kit that I had reduced. I think probably 50 or 75%. I put it on a piece of black cardstock, and then on the other side I added one of the larger photo mats. Ribbon for my stash. Plenty of places for journaling, plenty of places to add photos. Here's some more of the cheesecloth. This one, I kind of wanted to pick up the green from here, so I took, I have the vintage oxide and bundled sage, and just dabbed it around to kind of give it that green color. And I love this. The back side is beautiful. The front side is beautiful. This, I believe, is also an Artymaze freebie. If it's not a freebie, it is from Artymaze, and it's in one of her kits. I think it's a freebie. This vellum is not from either of the kits. This vellum was an image from another kit. I will list it. This is some baker's twine from one of my from my stash, and this is from the paper kit. This paper here is from a paper kit that I got from Compass and Ink. I like these because they are actually two-sided. You just score it down the middle and glue the inside and glue them together, and then it looks like you've got a it's a double-sided specimen card. They're so cute, from Artymaze. This is another one where I just took a piece of paper and I just cut around one of the vines and then glued it so that it became a nice tuck spot. And this is an origami party dress that Kerr, and I will link that video down in the description box below. But it's just, you attach it to your album or whatever you're gonna put it on with a paper clip. And I attached it to this particular page because I didn't want the shoulders of the dress to come up over the top of the album. I didn't want the points of the shoulders of the dress to get damaged. So it's one of the reasons why it's on this page. Then I decorated it with a little bit of lace from my stash that I had coffee dyed. Another ticket, a tag from the paper kit. Look at that, that's just beautiful. Just makes you want to smile. Another ticket, a tag with a ribbon from my stash. And here's where I used that paper from Compass and Ink to decorate the pocket on these two, and butterfly from Artymaze. And I did the same thing here where there was shrubbery on one of the pages from the paper kit, and I just fussy cut it, inked it, and then used it as a pocket. I don't think there's anything in here. I think this is empty. Yes, this is empty. Little bee from Artymaze. And this is a receipt. I believe this was from I think this was from a paper kit that, or some digital papers that I got off of Creative Fabrica. because I did not coffee dye this. This was, this paper came this way. I just loved how it was all nice and inked up already. Added a butterfly and a rhinestone here. Here's the other side of that vellum paper. This is a little library pocket from Artymaze. Now I'm thinking this one may have been from from like the bee kit that I bought from her. I don't know if this is from a freebie or not, but I love her stuff. And then this flips over, and then I've added a ticket and a little specimen card on the back side. Another little bee. And this is an envelope from one of Genevieve Design's digital kits, or I should say digital templates, and I don't think I have anything in there. Ribbon from my stash. Beautiful, vibrant papers in that paper kit. And I think this was a ledger page from one of Genevieve's not tutorials, but template sets. So that is this album, and I hope that you enjoyed the walkthrough. If you have any questions, please leave me a comment below. I'm gonna try and start posting more items on my YouTube channel, and you know, let me know what you think. I did want to mention a few people that I wanted to thank. I learned how to create junk journals by watching YouTube videos, basically. This is not something that I learned from another person personally in my own living room showing me how to do this. So I wanted to thank Jessica from I'm a Cool Mom and Nick from Nick the Booksmith for helping teach me how to determine how many pages, how many signatures go into a junk journal. And I wanted to thank Pam from the Paper Outpost, along with Holly, since we both have African Grays, for teaching me how to do the spine jewelry, and to G. Kerr for the tutorial on the origami party dress, and just for, you know, just for being great crafters and makers and YouTube trainers. I want to thank Follow the Paper Trail, Genevieve Designs, Scrap and Create, Country Craft Creations, and Ideas ×2, because their tutorials are fantastic. If you get a chance, please go out and like and subscribe to these folks, because you will learn a lot from them. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.